All right, on to step 7 here. We're going to choose careers and we're going to choose skills. We start with the careers. There are 20 different careers in the book here, and they are what your career tells you is it tells you the 3 starting skills that you have. It tells you, gives you a special ability that's based on the career. Some of them have restrictions, so you have to watch out for that. The other thing that it does is it gives you skill dice in the various starting careers. Each career gives you 3 starting skill dice. So the idea with choosing 2 careers is that you can make some cool combinations. Like you might be a pirate and an officer because you're a leader of the pirates, or you might be a paper pusher and a soldier because you were the officer in the commissary or whatever. You were the one giving out the supplies. So you're going to be drawing from these 2 different skill sets to make your character more unique. So what do we want for Albert and his skill set? So I think the skills, the two careers that I want to choose for him are, one is an artist, because he's got that Shakespearean thing, the drama, the performance, and the other one that I want for him, because he's a con man, is the sneak thief. So there's no restriction on artist, so we're fine. He can choose that one. And there is, however, a restriction on the sneak thief. You have to have a fleetness of 5 to be a sneak thief. And Albert only has, right now, a fleetness of 4. So we're going to have to adjust one of his other secondary stats to match up with the fleetness. So looking over them here, I think he's got a moxie in 4. That moxie came from Panther in the first place. So I think we can put it back down to 3, and that'll let us bump up the fleetness to 5 so that he can meet the restrictions for being a sneak thief. Alright, so here you can see, hopefully, what the career actually gives you. You're going to hear, here's the career ability. So for an artist, you can actually make art. And that is explained here in these rules. So he's an artist. And he's got an ability here of making art. The other thing is here, you see your starting skills. So there's a spot on the character sheet for the skills. I'm going to write the ones that are down there. So we've got art. I'm going to skip a space and you'll see why in just a second. He gets knowledge, and he gets, let's say he gets business. That seems to be more in line with what he wants. And you'll see here, the skill dice, 3 skill dice, all in art. So we just copy those right like that. So that's what we get from artist. Now we'll go to sneak thief. Sneak thief here, we get the career ability that we can add our fleetness to a sneak or search roll. That's going to come in real handy for this character, because the way we've had to adjust things, his fleetness is actually now one of his strongest stats. So we're going to be able to add that to any of our rolls. It's good. Here we see his career abilities are sneak and search. And he gets to choose between a melee or a ranged weapon. I'm feeling like he's going to choose ranged. Maybe he's the kind of guy that carries a Derringer. Alright, now we have to talk about skill specialties. This video isn't going to explain everything about skills and skill specialties, but here's the entire skill list. So we have on here, our character Albert has art, and so he can choose from any one of these specialties. Now we're going to give him performance, because that's going to relate to his performance on stage. So he's going to have performance as his skill specialty. We're going to fill that in here in the space below art. The difference between a skill and a skill specialty, they get the same number of skill dice, so we can fill that in the same as the parent skill. But performance usually adds an additional attribute in addition to the skill dice. So here we see the governing attribute for performance is either Valor or Moxie, whichever one we want to choose. We've set him as a higher Valor, so we're going to give him Valor as the thing that he's rolling against, or rolling with. So when he makes a skill specialty performance, when he makes a performance skill specialty roll, he's going to be adding Valor in addition to the dice. That process is the same for all the other starting skills. The 6 starting skills each get 1 skill specialty by default. So for knowledge, take a look there. Let's give him Streetwise. For business, let's give him Negotiation. Some of these have prerequisites, so I am keeping that in mind. Over on Sneak, we have Bluff, Crack, Hoist, Poison, Stealth. I think he might want to be a bluffer. For Search, we got Assess, Hide, and Notice. I think he wants to notice things. And then for Ranged, it's the same process. I've mentioned the pistol, the Derringer. That's based on fleetness, which I knew, so that's what I want for him for Ranged. All right, so part of skills selection is getting learned skills. You get these 6 skills from your 2 starting careers, but you get a number of additional skills equal to your know-how. Albert here has 2 know-how, so we get to choose 2 additional skills. I think maybe he's picked up some knowledge about, say he's got a little bit of science knowledge. I'm not sure. Maybe he uses it for some practical effects for his theatricalness, or maybe he just likes reading about the weather. I don't know, but I think that sounds right for him. And the other one is, I think he's going to have social as a skill. It fits with his trying to influence people and talk to people. All right, the last part of the skills is you're going to assign additional skill dice based on your smarts. So Albert has 3 smarts, so we can fill in 3 more of these bubbles. I'm looking over here and I'm thinking that the best places for him to go are, he's already got a lot in his art, so I'm going to give him another in Sneak. Gives him another in Bluff. I think he wants 1 in Ranged, because at some point he's going to get into some combat. And 1 in Social. And the next thing you do, and this may be the last step, is that anything that's got 3 skill dice assigned gets a skill specialty. So he's eligible for another skill specialty in Art and another skill specialty in Sneak. So didn't leave enough room for that. Wasn't looking very far ahead, but we're gonna have to squeeze those in. All right, here you can see I've adjusted everything down to make space for Write as another one. So maybe he writes his own plays, and Pinch, which is pickpocketing basically, because it's, for one, it's based on fleetness, so he's got an advantage there. And also, maybe, maybe sometimes when you can't scheme somebody, you just gotta take something out of their pockets. All right, here you see the skills and specialties block all completed out. I added the governing attribute to each of the skill specialties. That's, again, the attribute that you'll pull in when you make your roll. You've got the difficulty now filled in from the book, and you've got the number of skill dice that you'll add to the roll as well. Everything you need right there to make all your skill rolls. All right, now we're on to step 8. Step 8 is building the moral compass. The moral compass in Wild Skies is like the alignment system. It's what your character is driving for. It's what kind of story the character is a part of. Is it part of a story of survival? Is it part of a story of wealth acquisition? Is it part of a story of learning to be compassionate? What story is your character, what story arc is your character on? That's what the moral compass is supposed to be, because it presents multiple story arcs that your character could be a part of. And it's arranged in a compass rose pattern, like a map that you're following your directions through life. We're going to simplify. We'll have another video that explains all of the complexities of the moral compass and how that kind of works into gameplay. But for the purpose of this character creation example, we're just going to pick one, the true north heading. That'll be the starting goal of the character, what the character is most interested in achieving starting out. Looking over them here, we've got 16 different possible ones we can put there. I think the one that fits most is truth. Maybe it's not. I think this character's going to lie a lot, but I think he's going to imagine that he's being truthful to himself. He wants to just be himself. He wants to be true to his own identity, even if that identity is a lying scumbag. All right, we're on to step 9, which is putting on the finishing touches. We've got a few parts of the game that are mechanical here, so you're going to need your health. Your starting health is brawn times 4. Albert here is going to have starting health of 12. We also want to know how many languages he can speak. That's based on smarts. Smarts is 3, so Albert here, he's French. He obviously is going to know French. Let's say if he can't read the works of Shakespeare unless he knows English. So he's got English. And let's give him something a little more unusual. How about maybe he also learned Finnish? Why not? Lion speaking Finnish. The other part of the finishing touches is anything that's going to make the character stand out in a crowd. You have a little signature touch. I'm not sure why. It's kind of maybe going down into stereotypes here a little bit, but I imagine he's just the kind of guy that wears a bowler hat. So you're always going to notice him because he's the one wearing he's the lion in the bowler hat. He's gonna stand out that way. And that leads us to step 10, which is choose your affiliation. Now, once you've got your own character set, you know what your character can do, what your character wants. Your affiliation is what your group wants. The group of characters that you're playing, the group of other players that you're playing with. How are your characters related to each other? That's your affiliation. Maybe you're part of the same military unit. Maybe you're part of, maybe you were all hired by the same mysterious figure to go on a sketchy mission. You know, however it is that you guys are all together, that's your affiliation. There's a number that are suggested in the book, but you feel free to make your own. Whatever it is that makes your play group the story that you guys are telling together, that's unites as your affiliation. And that's it. If you've watched through this, now you should know how to make a character for Wild Skies. Really appreciate you watching. Appreciate you playing our game. Hope you have lots of fun.